Okay, welcome so much to our very first call of 2024. This is Tuesday, January the 2nd, and I'm your hostess, Judy Friesen, along with Carl Krebs. And Corolla is our faithful helper with all things that we don't do very well, which is a lot of the administrative things. So we thank you, Corolla, so much for helping out. And thank you for all of you who have made the effort to come on this call when it's so close right after New Year's Eve celebrations. But you know what? When we are patching, guess what? We feel healthier and we don't have hangovers. We don't have problems with sleep deprivation because these patches actually help regenerate and rejuvenate. Even if you've, just taken a little bit too much food or a little too much of the schnapps, your body does recover better. So, of course, I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't do those things, but I hear that the patches help when you've overdone it. But anyway, we are going to get started right away here. We've got our upline Pete on, and we're very thankful that Pete Redekop has really introduced. It's through him that we're all here tonight. So let's be grateful for that. But I have a poem slash saying that I'd like to read to everybody. And this is in light of us coming together tonight. We want to welcome every person. I see that Cameron has joined us. Welcome, Cameron. And Brian has joined us as well as Christopher. There are some new people here. Welcome if it's your very first time. We want you to know that this is a community of love and of light, that we really care about you and about helping you with your health as well as with your business. And we want to set some really good goals tonight. And Carl's going to share with us, and then later on, Pete. But if I might, I would love to share with you that I've made a goal for myself. And I literally am just sensed it, felt it. So I wrote it down and I sent it to Robin and Gregory so I could be accountable. And I will send it off to you, Pete, as well later. But I said, I want to this year sign up 30 new brand partners, 10 new preferred customers, and 5 new business builders. So that's my year kind of ahead. Now, that may be too low, way too low. But I just thought I would let you know that I'm saying it out loud, because if we tell each other, it's the first step into going forward and making that happen, that goal happen. And so I'm going to just continue to keep my focus and look forward and believe that I can attain that goal and hopefully double it. But I was really inspired by something. I read this by an author named Arnold Bennett. I don't know if any of you know Arnold Bennett. If you do, you can just use the caption at the bottom of your screen where you can raise your hand and say, yes, I know who that is, with a thumbs up or whatever. But Arnold Bennett has said something that's quite profound, and let me read it to you. It goes, and it fits into our whole theme of the concept of setting goals and looking forward to our new year. And it's about time. I realize that we all have only 24 hours in the day, and we all have to use the hours that God gives us, right? And I know that I can waste a lot of time doing all kinds of things. And sometimes we need downtime. So I really love the way David Schmidt, our founder, has taught us to say, you know what, set your goals and put the time aside. So he gets up every morning at whatever crazy hour it is, 4:30 or 5, and he does his 1 hour of exercise. Then he does his healthy breakfast, and then he spends time praying and asking for inspiration, and then he goes to the office and he does his stuff that benefits all of mankind, and he has his day figured out so he gets the most out of his day. He's using his time wisely. And I know that sometimes I look back and I think, you know what, I could have maybe used my time a little bit better in what I do. And so I thought I'd read this in light of that preamble. So Arnold Bennett, and I quote, "The chief beauty about the constant supply of time is that you cannot waste it in advance. The next year, the next day, the next hour are lying ready for you, as perfect, as unspoilt as if you had never wasted or misapplied a single moment. So let me say that again. The chief beauty about the constant supply of time is that you cannot waste it in advance. The next year, the next day, the next hour are lying ready for you, as perfect, as unspoiled, as if you had never wasted or misapplied a single moment. So for me, I'm asking myself, if I can't waste in advance, then I want to be thinking in advance, what am I going to do tomorrow, next week, and next month? Well, I just thought I'd open this up with that short little saying and a little bit about my goal setting. And now I'd love to pass it over to my friend Carl, and take it away, my friend.
Well, welcome everybody. And Judy, I knew when you shared that earlier in the call, I said that is a wonderful truth, because we know it's truth because it's consistent and it works every time. Well, welcome to all of you. It is January 2nd. And although there was a bit of a hesitation to do this call because, you know, it follows right after the New Year's, and of course we're busy and so forth and so on, I have been waiting anxiously to have this conversation with you. And I'm so glad so many of you had decided to join us on the call. And I want to welcome some newcomers. Jacob Wolf is on the call. Thank you, Santos Bonacci, for coming on the call as well. And I'm so looking forward to speaking with you in the next day or two and doing that interview that we've had to put off. But I believe at the beginning of the year, it is so vital, it is so important that we set the intention, that our mindset is focused. And before I get too far into this, because I can talk about this, this is straight from the heart. I want to ask Pete, how is your Wi-Fi connection, my friend? Do you need to, because I want to give you time. Are you okay to delay talking for about another 10 minutes, or how is your Wi-Fi and your time right now? I want to make sure that we don't miss your address to the group.
Hey, Carl. Yeah, Happy New Year to everyone. The internet seems very stable here right now, so you do your thing, my friend. I'm anxious to hear your part. I will be here in support, and I will come on after your 10 minutes there, Carl. So you take it away, my friend.
Great. Thanks. Just wanted to check with you. So once again, thank you to all of you that are here. Why are you here? What do you want more of in 2024? That was the question that was posed by our larger group leaders, Robin and Gregory Mascari. And I think it's the question we all need to ask ourselves. And I've had tremendous awakenings in the last couple of months, and they've come because I've opened myself up and made myself vulnerable to some of you in the group and others in the bigger group. I have learned so much about this business and so much about intention and mindset in the last few weeks. A lot of it has to do with being introduced to Eric Worre, which I thank Carola and Roger too for introducing me to this person. But I have known some of these things for a while, and sometimes it's not what we learn, it's what we need to be reminded of. And I know some of you, and Pete has the most experience of all of us in this group to speak to what it is that we need to do. And there are several things we need to do. Number one, we need to set the intention, both the intention of ourselves and the intention of the group. So let me start with the group for a moment. This year has been a year of change for me. There's always a tendency to recognize the shortfalls of other people and to carp about it and to complain about it and to wish that things were different. But what I've learned about myself is that in the leadership role, which I feel I'm called to, and many of you are leaders in this group too, and certainly Pete and Judy, and I count it a privilege to work with you people. I have learned that this business of multi-level marketing is an entirely different animal. And so it was with the help of Robin, who is part of the Gregory team, the Mascari team, the 150,000 person group that we are part of, that she challenged me. She says, Carl, you need to make the shift. You need to make the change, because all of what you've done in business is so different from what we do in multi-level marketing. It is the inversion of the corporate model that so many of us are accustomed to and have worked with. I have been in my own business for 24 years. I've had many successes and I've had my share of failures. But in my business, of what I've learned is that I could direct people, I could manage people, I could control them because they were doing business with me. We are not in that business. We are in the business of coaching and mentoring. That is an inversion to what we're used to in the corporate world. For me, I've had to make myself vulnerable to many of you in the group, and I continue to do so. And I put before you, my commitment in 2024 is to be completely accessible to any and all of you to the extent that you need me and want me to be a part of your success. Because this group hinges on the principle that we don't get as leaders to get where we want to get until we help others get to where they want to get. This is, people say multi-level marketing is a pyramid. And I say, take a look at your corporate world. Tell me where the real pyramid is. Tell me that there's room for everybody at the top in the corporate world, and that's where the arguments end. There is no room for everybody at the top in the corporate world, but we have actually an inverted triangle. We have room at the top for everybody. When I became a director this year, I shared that on the group because it became an epiphany to me. Excuse me for that sneeze. I realized, and I shared with the group, you know, there is room for everybody at the top. And when I became a director on the first director's call, I said, I know that this seat was reserved for me a long time ago. It would be a matter of time. I wouldn't know the direct pathway or what it would take to get there. But I did acknowledge certain people who helped me. One of the people I failed to acknowledge was Judy Friesen. Judy, you are one of the most wonderful assets in this group. You pour your heart into this. And at the same time, I look at who's on the call, none of your people, but you give yourself selflessly to this group. And I commend you for that, because you've been an inspiration for me, as have others, to pour my heart into this. You know, the founder of the great coffee chain, help me, Starbucks, wrote a book. The title of the book, Pour Your Heart Into It. This was mentioned by John C. Maxwell at our Orlando convention. Everything that I've learned in the last 4 months has really inverted my belief and my understanding. And I want to see this group as a group that comes together, not only as a community, but let's go deeper. Let's be the family that some of us don't have and that some of us need. And we have tremendous leadership in the group. Pete, I thank you for your leadership in what you know and how you can explain things in ways that nobody else I know can explain it any better. Judy, I affirm your leadership in the things that we do together collaboratively and the sidebar conversations that we have in this group. And I love Carola and Roger, you guys on the back end, always willing to participate and take it and put the finesse and the final touches on some of this. Lois, thank you for being there to do some of the what might be called the little, rather insignificant, but they are significant. Everything we're doing in this group as individuals is significant to the health, the vitality, and the success of this group. And my goal in 2024 is to bring out something in every one of you. Every one of you has something to contribute to this group to enhance the vitality and the health and the success of this group. And it is with the intention that we set that we will have the success that we want. You know, it's said that if you don't know where you're going, how do you know you're already there? And when we set our goals, and each of us have goals, Judy, thank you for sharing that goal, because that is a goal that is measurable. And we say so many things in this group that are so common, but we need to say it again and again. As I said at the outset, it's not what we learn, it's what we need to be reminded of. Success in this group is not magical, it's mathematical. And when you apply the simple percentiles of how many people you'll need to talk to generate how many people whose interest you have piqued, to generate how many people will you sign, I venture to say that the numbers could be as low as 1 in 10. One person for every 10 people that you talk to will come to the party, will join the group and see what we have. And Carola, you said something many months ago. I've never forgotten it. I've shared it many times. We do have what the world is looking for. because the world has been put to sleep and been inundated with pharmaceuticals and synthetics. We have this all natural health product that has verifiable scientific data to back it up, and anecdotal testimonies of people who, some of which spoke on some of the videos I've done, to say, I can't believe it. You know, Walt Disney once said, do things in such a way that people will tell others to get them to come to see if it will be the same for them. We have this power of testimony thing that goes out, and the testimonies that we share are going to lead to the success that each of us want. So each of us have to examine, and I'm going to open this up for conversation in a few minutes. Share with us what you want. This is not so that we keep you accountable, although I do appreciate what Judy said. And Judy, if you could add me to that list, I'd love to be a part of your accountability list, and I will share mine as well. I do want to be held accountable. As a leader in this group, I want to be held accountable to each and every one of you so that your success is being enhanced by anything I can do. I had a conversation with BJ the other day. He has a chiropractor or a health practitioner of a sorts. I won't lend a title to something that doesn't exist. And I said, BJ, get me on that call. Get me on the call. I'll bring Robin. She wants to call. One of the things I've learned as I've learned this, and I'm learning this business, guys, please be patient with me. I will make mistakes, but my heart is open to you guys. That's what we talk about. I love David Schmidt, who targets heart to heart. I want to share my heart, my intention with you. I want you to be vulnerable enough to share it with me. I want to be a part of your success. I want you to be a part of my success. And so when we do these things, and I had this conversation with Robin over breakfast at the relaunch party here in Winnipeg, as she graciously came in. She says, Carl, I got one thing to say that I'm not happy about with what you're doing. And I thought, oh boy, here comes. This is where the penny drops. She says, you don't use me enough. I says, how do you mean that? She says, you're still doing things lone wolf. You still think that you can do everything on your own because that's your business background. And I was just absolutely slain in the moment. And I said, you're right. I have far too much of that. She says, you're going to have to make that change. You're going to have to change it in your head and in your heart and adjust that mindset to realize we are in a different business altogether. So she gave me some videos. I followed them up. She has sent some beautiful DVDs and some CDs to me, which I'm going to apply to myself. And then I'm going to make them available to you. But my question to you, my invitation, not challenge, is to how can each and every one of us help succeed in this group and help to your success, because we are in this together. As Kai often says, we're in the soup together. And that's how we get to where we want to be. We have to set that mindset. We have to set that intention. And this business is a wonderful business that will truly pay you what you're worth. Think of the businesses that you know and the people you know that you have met who have said, you know what? They're not paying me what I'm worth. Multi-level marketing, by its sheer beautiful design, and I truly believe it's the 21st century model that other companies are going to go to. This model, this business will pay you what you're worth. It'll also allow you to leave it where you're worth and pick it up where you want to. Multi-level marketing is an incredible design. And more importantly, it's not just multi-level marketing. It's Lifewave in multi-level marketing, being voted for 2023 and 24 as a AAA plus business opportunity. And we are entering our 20th year. My dear, my loved ones, we are in something that we just have to apply it. Everything is there for us. The question is, will we take up the challenge? Will we do what we want to do? And for those of you that are content with where you are, God bless you. There's no intention to take anywhere that they don't want to go. Nobody wants to, as we often say, only work with the willing. Well, when it comes to our group, we want to work with the willing. If you're into this, if you really see yourself as wanting to be paid for what you're worth, I want to be a part of that success. I know Pete wants to be a part of that success. I know many people in this group want to be a part of that success. So this is my challenge. How do we work together in transparency with each other, making ourselves vulnerable to each other, sharing the things that we need to share so that we maximize the opportunities that come our way when we're ordering product? As we do that, are we doing the right thing for the right people? And are we actually doing the right thing for the people that are above us and beneath us? We need to contribute to each other's success. That's how we succeed individually. That's how this group grows. And I have some very ambitious plans in my mind to that the end of 2024. And with so many of you going to conference, God bless you guys for going to conference. I think we're going to see some incredible things. So I want to thank you for letting me address you in this manner. I hope you accept it in the spirit in which is intended, that I want to be better. I want you to be better. I want us to be better. And with that, I want to turn it over to Pete, and then I want to open it up for some personal contribution by people.
Well, thank you so much, Carl. All I can say is, wow. Wow, Carl, the way you've grown over the course of the 2 years, a little better than 2 years since I walked on your driveway in the name of freedom. You were attending Ottawa for the Freedom Convoy in Canada. And of course, word was traveling, and we didn't know each other, but we knew of each other. And I did that walk on your yard. I loved the message of freedom, and I wrapped myself literally into what you were doing, if you can recall that, introduced Lifewave to you. And all I can say, Carl, is you've grown immensely since the day you joined Lifewave. And it's like 180 degrees in the last 6 months. So congratulations to you. I just want to greet each and every one of you. Hannah and myself, my fiance, she's from the Philippines. We live in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. We're currently just south of Winkler, Manitoba, Canada. Hannah's first experience in the snow and minus temperature. So it's been a wonderful time here. But I want to start off with just saying thank you to each and every one of our leaders and the people that have really been the engine, the motor, that have made this team so incredibly successful. The people that are out there doing it, the people that stepped up to the plate, and like Carl, he just does meetings, he takes action, proactive, and Judy just taking that microphone and just, she does everything. She helps anyone, sideline, cross line. Now, obviously, we don't want to abuse that, but we love Judy immensely. And Roger and Kroll, I spent some time with them yesterday, New Year's Eve, had dinner together. That's special. This is what it's all about. Margaret and Carl, we were down, and they put the treats out, the coffee, the tea, and we just had a wonderful time. And it's so absolutely wonderful to be a digital nomad, and that's what I've been for the past 32 years, a full-time network marketer and a digital nomad in the last couple of decades here. And you know what? Your home is wherever your heart is, and you have your computer, you have your laptop, and we live on the beaches of Playa del Carmen. I mean, it's wonderful. It's 30 degrees. Unlike Manitoba, it's wonderful to visit, but the temperatures are just not quite where our heart is at. Our heart is in the tropics. And my quest for Lifewave joy started in Belize, Central America, when I got that amazing phone call from my sponsor, Kai Jacobson, who I spent a good 15, 20 minutes on the phone with today. He's leaving tomorrow for a cruise with his partner, Lynette. It's a network marketing cruise through the Virgin Islands, and he's going to all these different islands. It's going to be thousands of network marketers in a 5-class event that they're going to, and he's going to come back with some serious network marketers in his network. And then he's flying off to Korea for the launch of South Korea. And if anyone in this network, in our group has any connections to South Korea, please let Carl, Judy, myself know, because I can tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, we're unleashing something so powerful here in 2024. And as long as your heart is in the right place and you have great intentions, which I know we all do, what do you want more of in 2024? Because you see, you can meet one person like Carl Krebs, one person, and it may not even be intentionally, but you know what? You met someone and you introduce a business model to them as I did with Carl. I'm using Carl as an example now. Now, obviously, I thought he would reject me when I had the Lifewave presentation, when I shared about the patches. But to my amazement, he said, yeah, this is exactly what I want. See, I had no idea who Carl knew and the many wonderful people that would come into my life as a result of his connections, just like Roger and Corolla. I mean, I would have known them if I hadn't met Carl. And Roger and Corolla have people in their network they probably would have never have known if someone in their group wouldn't have spoken to someone. So it all begins with someone speaking to someone because you just don't know the power of what that duplication model will look like. No different than Coach Clarissa. I had no idea how many connections she had, but the approach. My journey began in Belize, went to Canada during the lockdowns of COVID and started building it here, just started the product originally. And, I moved back to my return to Mexico, Playa Carmen, built it there, met wonderful people like Santos Panacci, who's on the call tonight. I had no idea how many millions of followers this man had and how connected he was. And it just, I'm sharing this story with you for a reason. The next person you say hello to, the 3-foot rule, you meet on the street or at the supermarket or wherever your travels take you, don't be afraid to look them in the eye and greet them and say hello. How are you feeling today? What a different question than, hey, how are you? How are you? Good, good, good. You, bye, see ya. And then that's the end of the conversation. That's not productive. When you ask the question, how are you feeling today? You get a very different response from the person, and the person looks at you completely different because not too many people ask that question. But you know what? I'm sharing this with you for a reason. There's many of us that can do a whole lot more in 2024, and it begins with you stepping up, reaching out, and just reconnecting with some people that you haven't maybe touched base with in a while, or meeting brand new people that you just haven't spoke to about our business before because you don't know who they know. Maybe they're connected with 100 people in South Korea, and oh my gosh, what would your business look like when the #1 network marketing arena, South Korea, is unleashed in your network and you've got some key builders down there? They're hungry down there, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a powerful, powerful year. And one thing I want to share with each and every one of you, and I'm going to end it on this note, that 2024, our 20th anniversary, we're going to do more business in Lifewave in 2024 than we did in the previous 19 years combined. Now write that down. Mark my words. We're going to do more business in 2024 than we did in the previous 19 years. You want to talk about being at the right place at the right time? There's a growth curve happening here in Lifewave that is so exponential. The multiplying effect is going to kick in here by 100, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to just thank each and every one of you, and thank you, Carl and Judy and everybody else that is just here doing it and launching their business into the next stratosphere in 2024. You're going to look back and you're going to say, wow, what happened in 2024? It's going to blow your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Stay connected with your sponsor. Stay connected with your upline, whoever that is. Just get plugged in. We love you. We appreciate you. Things are going to rock into the next stratosphere, ladies and gentlemen. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a great year. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. And back to you, Carl.
Well, thank you, Pete. As always, inspirational and something, it's when we share these things, as you were speaking, I was reminded of something that was shared at the global convention. You never know who your friends know. And so when we're out there talking, yes, we want to be sincere. We want to be genuine. We want to be authentic, but we want to look for that moment when we pivot that conversation. As you shared briefly, how is your health? Ask it in a sincere way. We often pass by people and say, how you doing? It's the most disingenuous insincerity I know. But when we say, how are you doing? And that means something. And we get a chance to, because we have something so remarkable. It literally works for every person of every age and every stripe and color. I want to ask Corolla, and Roger to come on briefly and share a little bit about what has been a turning point in your life in 2023 as you go into 2024. Share with us some of your thoughts as you have ended this year and have now begun this new year. Go ahead, Corolla, if you'd like. Or Roger? Sure. Hi, Roger. Roger's out driving a truck, which I'll be out doing tomorrow, but stay safe out there, buddy. Share with us what's in your heart as you come out of 23 and go into 24.
One thing is, it has to be heart to heart, and you have to be willing to do the work. There's nothing else.
Yes. Yes, you do have to be willing to do the work. And there's a saying, the magic that you're looking for is in the work that you don't want to do. I came across that saying, and I've been blessed with several of these key sayings that have spoke to me. And I know I haven't done the work that I've wanted, that I've needed to do to have the success that I've wanted to have. So the success that you're looking for, the magic, which is all mathematical, is in the work that you don't want to do. Corolla, what would you share? What would you add to that?
Hi, everyone. Mine is the same, like heart to heart. That's what David saying is too, but I have learned, especially, like I had been doing mindset with Eric Worre for 4 years. I didn't realize it was 4 years, but the breakthrough actually happened last December. And then there was no mistake, like last Sunday when I came back and I was opening my Facebook, and I got to a point, it was specifically talking to the same thing about network marketing, I would say, even though it was a church service from a pastor I like so much, Pastor Greg Locke. And he was saying, like, keep the eyes on the prize. Like that's to me network marketing too, right? So there is a day of honor coming. So the day of honor meaning you'll get paid if you stay focused and keep the eyes on the prize, right? And then he started talking, like, especially about some stuff that was dear and near to my heart. And then he says, first off, the demon of offense. Stop living with demonic attack in your life. Stop it in your business, in your friendship, and everywhere, you know. You put unreal expectations on people that will never meet them, and you are offended. That was something that I learned from Eric Worre too. And I just didn't keep those words, but I was reminded again on this. And you expect people to respond to you in a certain way. If they don't do, you get offended. And second was what was even more, like the damage of gossip and slander. He was talking about the church in America is filled with gossip. So he says, like, and that's, I think it's in our word too, like it's a network marketing too. Did you hear? Did you see? Did you know? Like, we better stop that, he was saying, you know. So he said, I'm done with gossip and slander. And we need to forgive each other. If a person can forget those things which are behind, they have a place in my life and in my business. And so that was like forgiveness is huge. And that was something that I learned from Gregory a long time already too. Gregory and Robin Blank Muscari. So yeah, for me, that's what network marketing is. Because we need to put in the work ourselves and we cannot expect others to do it. And if we can be accountable, and for me, it's about reaching out to people, say hi, and get more people into our business too. And like Carl was saying earlier, if you're willing, coachable, and hungry, that's the people we are looking for. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, what a great way to end. Willing, coachable, and hungry. Those are the people we really want to target, who want to take their game to the next level, who want to achieve the success that they've been looking for. You know, it's okay to do what you're doing until you're called to do what you were always meant to do. And some of us are going to have some tremendous success in here, but it's going to come when we're prepared to be a servant to each other. You know, Jesus was a servant to everyone. He came to serve man. I look at him as an example of who I want to be. I want to have a servant heart. I have to lay aside my own selfish ambitions. I have to lay aside what I think, what I know, to be able to understand what other people. There's different ways of listening. There's listening to respond. There's listening to understand. But when we listen to really be compassionate, we will achieve that heart to heart that we're looking for. And we are the light in this world. The world is filled with darkness. We know it. There's a lot of darkness around us. But think about when you light one candle in a room, what it does to that room. It changes everything. And we just came out of the season, which we celebrated. And for myself, from my heart, Jesus was the light of the world that came into the world, not to condemn the world, but to save the world. And he showed us by simple servanthood, by demonstrating simple washing of feet. How many of us are prepared to do that? As you said, Carola, it's easy to take an offense, but when you realize that taking the offense is a choice you make, then you can truly live unoffended. And this is the thing that we need to do. Again, being vulnerable to each other, to serve each other. I intend to be a part of every one of your successes, all of you in this group, to the extent that I can, to the point where you will allow me and others to enter in. I truly intend to be servant to all. At times, I feel like I'm a leader. At times, I feel like I'm a student. We are, those of us who are leading this group, are shepherds of this flock. We have to care for that flock. We genuinely have to have a heart that cares for them. And that's what's going to drive this group to unbelievable success. When we look back at 2024, let us all say, wow, what a year that was. And look at each of our individual successes and say, my goodness, every one of us had something to contribute to this group. Is there anybody else who'd like to share before I call on you? Because I will call on you. So is there anybody who'd like to unmute and share with the group what you would like more in 2024?
Carl, you're muted.
Hang on. Yeah, that was my mistake. I was muting myself. I'm going to call on someone because I've been working with him and I'm so looking forward to doing an interview because I want to be a part of his success as he leads a large group. Santos Bonacci, would you like to share anything on this call tonight if you're able to unmute yourself and share with us, please? Are you good to share, Santos? If not, I'll move on.
Of course I am. All
I
right,
love it, bro.
yeah. So what would you like me to say, Carl? By the way, everyone else, Carl has interviewed me about sovereignty as well, because that's health and sovereignty, and I have many, many loves which I've been teaching for 13 years in public. So yeah, like for me, Lifewave is, I mean, I've always got my, I put glutathione on there. I don't know whether you can see that.
Yep, we can
Yeah,
see it.
I've got X39 here, X49 here, and X39 is, oops, there. I don't know if I've got the right spots, but I feel like Superman when I wear my patches. I haven't missed a day for well, since Peter. When was that, Peter?
Santos, that was 2 years ago. You've been with us for 2 years. And again, you got Christopher Gutierrez on the call here tonight as well from Costa Rica. And it's just so great having you on the call, Santos. And your team is starting to grow. And Daryl, I think, is on the call from Portugal. And it's just amazing to see who you've introduced the product to, and just the fact that you're getting amazing results, Santos. It's so nice to hear your voice and have you part of the group. So continue, please, Santos.
So Santos, let me ask you a question just to sort of steer you along here. When you look at the world as you have seen it for so many years, and so many of us are now seeing it for what it really is, how important is this light concept that we talk about? I know you did a short video, which was really well done by a friend of ours. I think Boris was in on that. Pete, correct? Boris did that filming?
Boris Magnus from Toronto did the
Right,
recording.
exactly. And you said something about going to the light. And we know that photolight therapy and the light that our bodies exude is so important. It's vital in our patches. Speak to that for a moment, because you have a tremendous following, and people are influenced by what you say. When you talk about light and the healing power of light, what do you see that as today, now even more than you did before?
Well, my work, the Sam Best method, based on the astrological ecliptic sine wave and the tropical astrology, the cross that we all must bear, tropical astrology. It's a destined, it is actually a thing, you know, it's a science. So what was the question again?
The question about light in this world of darkness, how important is the healing property of light? Because that's what all of this centers on.
Okay, so I'm a barefooter. I just went down to the horse stud down here. They do horse jumping competition. And I've got my favorite horse, payaso, which means clown. And I bring in bananas and carrots and apples. So I was just walking on the gravel road, nature, you know, nature. But the patches, they give me, I feel like Superman.
A lot of people report that. They are frankly amazed at what the power of the patch can do for them. And that's why we often say, we invite them, come and see what the power of the patch can do for you. But because we know we have an all natural health product that's being staged in a world that is in the world where all natural health products are not the thing. They are the thing that they want to get rid of, as we live in a pharmaceutical indulgent world that says, put another synthetic in your system, and then we'll deal with the side effects. And we have all natural healing properties of this wonderful product. Truly, the world is looking for what we have. And we have to be bold enough to go in front of them and offer it to them, recognizing they may reject it. A lot of people reject what's good for them until they know.
Yes.
Until they run out of options, until they're at the end of their doctor's recommendation. And then they say, hey, what can I do? Well, how about if you try a patch, a simple peel and stick application? Because they said, I looked at that before. Well, how desperate are you? What do you want to see in results with no side effects? All right.
Yeah, I mean, some people, I don't know, you know, how sensitive they are to, or receptive for that matter, to technology, but there seems to be a resistance which now is changing. I think people realize that we need technology. The Egyptians had their Ankh, they had their jet pillars. We know that the Babylonians had their batteries, copper and zinc in clay pots. We know that technology, Tartaria and free energy, magnetism, this is magnetism. This is the science of light. That's what I teach. I teach the science of light, and that's what astrology is. That's in India, they call it Jyotish, which means the science of light, and astrologos, astrology means astro, light, star.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I think it's a very freeing day to realize that the thing that you've believed, that you need a job, is the greatest lie you were ever told. And I know Pete has a famous saying. He says he remembers when he fired his boss, which is a cute way of saying, I realized I didn't need a job. Do I want to work? Yes. Do I want to do certain things? Yeah. Do I need a job? Because the job that they give you is in many ways the enslavement to the system. And that's what I like about our system. We can break out of that at any time. Thank you so much for sharing, Santos. I want to open it up to anybody else. And go ahead. Anything more?
Just one more thing. I just put in the chat a link to me busking, making $250,000 a year, selling hundreds of thousands of CDs. You'll see there, and in that channel, you'll see a lot of videos of my music, and you'll see my motto in that 2-minute video that I've just put in there. My motto: to not have a job.
Yes.
We are free. We're Jedis, and we're going to win this spiritual war. Thanks, guys.
I love it. And thank you. You reminded me of what Kai Jacobson always says: I'm certifiably unemployable. That should be our goal in what we're doing here. Anybody else, before we turn this call, bring it to an end, anybody else on the call here that would like to share something that's come to mind about what's been shared here today? Anybody else? I'm opening it up. Just go ahead and unmute yourself and please share with us. So we're going to bring this call to an end in the next few minutes. Anybody else? Don't be shy. Margaret, she would like to share something. Here we go. Okay.
Hello, everybody. I'm so glad that I am in this Lifewave success. And I want to especially thank you, Pete, that you came here to Carl then and help us with our patches and that we could go further with this. And I'm glad that I am so far as I am. And I'm still helping more and more people. And all of my people, what I have, I'm phoning him once a week and thank him all for how good they are and what they're doing. So I never forget one of them. I got that from Judy, that she said she's trying to catch up with all her people and reminding him that she is still involved with all of them. And that came into my heart, that I thought, that's what I want to do. And I talked to my daughter today and she said, Mom, you should not be too busy to two things. She said, focus on your life, what you want it, and make sure you stay focus on Jesus, that he can help you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anybody else before we bring this call to a close? I'm going to give the last couple of minutes to Judy. I know her mind has probably been percolating on all of what's been shared, and this has been a great call. Thank you so much for every one of you that took the time out. And we did go a little longer, but that's okay. This is a first of the year call, and we want to make it count. Anybody else that would like to share anything before we give it over to Judy to bring us in for a landing here?
Oh, I got something.
Just want to say thanks to Santos and Judy and yourself and everybody else. I'm going to sign out here. And Roger, you take it away. Great having you guys, and have a wonderful, blessed night.
I was listening last night to one guy. He talks about light systems too, and he said it have to get darker before the light will shine. And that stuck out to me. So I think it's the same in our business. As the darkness comes, we need to bring the light. Thank you.
Thanks, Roger. Judy, would you do us the honor and just provide a brief summary? And again, thank you all for coming. I hope this helped you to set the intention and your mindset for yourself about what it is you want more of in 2024. Judy, bring us in for a beautiful landing.
All right. Thanks so much, Carl and Pete and Carola, Roger. It's been good to hear all the rest of you participate. I would like to challenge us all to find at least one person that you can share your goals with, and they share it with you and they keep you accountable and you keep yourself accountable by doing that. So find somebody and share with them. This is what I'd like to do. Somebody that would understand, preferably, obviously, another Lifewave person in your team or someone who is your sponsor or above. That would be what I would like to remind everybody. We all get it. We all know that these patches work. We all know that light is the key, and we want to shed light in the darkness, as we've been saying here tonight. I would like to also remind everybody that in 2 weeks on the 16th, mark your calendars, that's our Lifewave training call. We'll get a little bit more in depth where Carl and I are going to work on the subject matter, but we've been talking quite a bit about retention and how do we do retention well. And I actually, Carl, you don't even know this yet, but I actually found something from Connie Lucas, and it's all about how to do really good distributor and customer retention. And so I'm free and available unless we have another subject that we like better. You'll find out in about a week. We'll be advertising what is the topic for the 16th. So mark your calendars at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Manitoba time, and we'll have a good time together, getting a little bit more into a training style. You're certainly welcome to bring a guest, but understanding that it is a training. So thanks again tonight for everybody's participation. It's been good to be with you. Have a great rest of the week. Looking for what Pete was saying. Look at somebody and don't ask them, hey, how are you? Ask them the question that's going to really help them to realize that you care deeply about who they are as people and you care about their health. So with that, good night to everybody.
Thank you, Judy.